Okay, thank you. Any other? Okay, seeing none, let me just ask a few questions and make some comments. I'm so disappointed why presenter and also committee members and the witnesses we are making this committee meeting as a forum for attacking federal government and the president and the other states' action. We should be focusing on our matter. What is good for our state? We should administer and oppose any actions that we don't believe that is a right action. Then we should oppose. And let me ask anyone, author or witnesses, opposing witnesses, support witnesses, does anyone can answer if political gerrymandering good or bad? Is it good or bad?
I mean, I think it depends whose interests you are advancing as a citizen. I'm not an elected official, so my answer to that might be different than yours. As a voter, as a citizen, I want to pick my representatives. I do not want my representatives to pick me. And the partisan gerrymandering and the perpetuation of it continues to get us into a race to the bottom that we've seen over recent years and that will only continue with the route that we are going. Which is why the voters have a different model.
In general sense, it has a connotation of a negative connotation. Nobody likes to hear the election was rigged because of the gerrymandering and the political gerrymandering by majority party or whoever the party in power. They want to draw to their own advantage, and that's the reason nobody wants to have that kind of gerrymandering to take place. That's the reason we elected to have our independent redistricting commission, and whether we support or not, that is our system we have set up, and was so glad to hear that the 2020 redistricting was unanimously voted by bipartisan way. I mean, that is a democracy. So my understanding of this very map drawn was done. Okay, let me ask that question. Who did that drawing of the map supposedly on the website?
This bill does not pertain to the map. This is the calling of the election.
I know this is, but just like you are saying, this is germane to the SB 280, but everybody went outside attacking the present administration, president, and the current administration. So that is very well related. So that's the reason I'm asking that question. So. This bill, SB 280, is administering to allow that the ACA to be on the ballot measure and properly that this bill will pass, and then allowing state of secretary to execute the election. So that's the whole process we are doing, but there's a lot of things related. And let me ask a specific other questions. How much time do counties normally have to prepare for an election? And how does the timeline proposed for this election compare? I would like to address that to the author.
There are many statutory changes that you can find in the committee analysis that address what we needed to make happen based off of the conversations with the Secretary of State, and those are all outlined in pages 3 through 7.
Okay, next question. So we are reducing the time the voters have to decide whether they want to amend to do this. Is there concern that you are depriving the voters of adequate time to educate themselves on their major constitutional issues?
Again, the bill before us today is making sure we make the statutory changes to call for a special election on November 4th and to ensure that there is a June primary.
Oh, okay. Now, will the maps be on the actually will be physically on the ballot?
Again, that is a question you can ask the relevant author of the next item on file.
Because if that is not visibly, physically available for all those who will be voting on, and if you refer to online, there are so many people who would not have any online access or no Wi-Fi, and that's what I hear, that remote areas, countryside, rural areas would not have access to internet. So how are we gonna compensate that the lack of knowledge people will be asked to vote on?
Again, there has been a public portal for voters to look at for a number of days now, and they'll have several months, 2.5 months before the election, to take a very thorough review on what they will make a decision on November 4th.
Election portal that I mentioned, that not everybody I hear that many times that the
Vice Chair, there will also be a voter guide that goes out to every single voter in the state.
Will that the voter guide have all the maps and the entire district, the congressional district, 52 maps will be on the ballot voter guide?
The voter guide will have all the information as it pertains to the election.
Now I'm asking the maps.
Again, the voter guide will have all the information as it pertains to the election, so a voter can make a very thorough decision November 4th.
No, okay.
Educated decision on November 4th.
Oh, okay. Now,
It will have the detailed information on the maps that we are discussing and what will be up for discussion on the next file item.
okay. Let me ask next question. The special election is estimated to cost the taxpayers upward of $250 million. With the state facing $12 billion deficit, there is money. Where is the money going to come from to pay for this?
The election is going to cost as much as a new ballroom that Trump is proposing in the White House. That is $200 million, approximately, that will be given to the Secretary of State and the county registrars to administer the election.
So that is a good idea in the mid-decade special election when we face that kind of $12 billion, the general fund, $250 million will be spent for this, to me, unnecessary election.
Again, $200 million we believe is a drop in the bucket in comparison to the federal funding that we would get back that we are losing today, $5 to $10 billion in federal funding that we're losing in California.
Okay, and there will be $250 million. To my data that I got was $250 million. That's a $250 million B with a billion dollar deficit. The expenses, but if that fund $250 million will come from general fund, that's what general fund I read. The cost will come from. When we unexpectedly use that amount of large sums of money, what programs do you plan to cut down that originally planned for?
Again, this bill is addressing the call of the election, the statutory changes that need to be made in order to have the election on November 4th and the funding for that election.
Okay, I think we need to address all that preparations with the unexpected expenditure, what can we impact in general fund exercising in how that will impact the state operations. To me, my last question is that as you might have seen some polls, this redistricting idea is very unpopular. There's no guarantee just because you place it on the ballot measure, it'll pass. To my some data that I heard was about 68% of people oppose it, and this franchise Democratic Party, ruling party, forcing this just as in the beginning I asked how you view as political gerrymandering as a good idea, bad idea. General connotation, I mentioned that the general people don't like that kind of idea. So when you place that in the general election, there's a special election, there's no guarantee it'll pass. There may be a retaliatory reaction. That are you prepared, the Democrats, to accept that? You may lose more seats, in other words, gaining. You need to think about it. Okay, I will stop here, and you may close your statement.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I do want to make a clarifying statement that there will be visual depictions of the maps created by AB 604 and will be on the voter guide. In my closing, the bill before you today, SB 280, this is a response, a direct response to Trump's election rigging scheme, and this is an emergency for our democracy. This bill today holds an election to give California voters a voice, that Texas Republicans are denying Texans. Let's let California voters have a say at the ballot box. And SB 280 will call for the election and the administration of that election, and I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Okay, as far as I know, that is not the vote. Today, that is.
I will ask for your support as it gets out.
Yeah.
And onto the floor respectfully.
Yeah. So far, two bills we heard was for hearing purposes only. Next bill is going to be what voted on after hearing. So that is AB 604. Are you going to present that 604 or somebody else?
The authors is here.
Senator
Gonzalez
okay.
Here to present the joint authors.
Okay.